In dealing with your swelling in your legs, we want to employ every tactic, every mechanism that the body will use in order to make this happen. Positioning is relative. Yes, elevation above the heart is grand, however, not always realistic. As long as your feet aren't on the floor, this is an advantage. We also want to use the diaphragm as a pump to bring fluid upstream, ultimately to the right chest, where it is dumped back into the circulation. So to begin, we are relatively elevated. We want to think about our breath, letting the belly rise and fall, rise and fall, which oftentimes is a little bit foreign if you're not accustomed to it. So take some time to think about your breath and allow the hand on the belly to do a little bit more of the moving than the hand on the chest. If both are moving, that's fine. It's something to strive for. We also need to clear a path. Any fluid that might be held up in the abdomen itself, we want to get out of the way, because swelling from below can't get through the swelling in the middle. So we do some gentle light strokes inward and upward across the abdomen, inward and upward, in and up. And we do that in a circular fashion. This is actually quite light. And we can coordinate it with an exhalation, pulling up, inhalation, wrapping around, exhalation, pulling up towards the rib cage. You do 8 to 10 circles to encourage any fluid in the abdomen to head north. Secondly, we've got lymph nodes in the inguinal region. We want to activate those a little bit, flush them a little bit. This is with a bit firmer pressure. You can either follow the line at the base of the leg, where the leg meets the pelvis, across, or move perpendicular to that towards the belly button. And again, this is a little bit firmer pressure. We do 8 to 10 strokes here. So we've cleared some space, we've engaged the diaphragm, and now we're asking the inguinal lymph nodes to open up and get ready to receive some fluid from down below. We've tried to create an environment where fluid can come to and pass through, ultimately back up to the chest. Then we get pumping. We start from the toes and ankles and work our way up. We do our ankle pumps with toes up and toes down, make it active in each direction, so the muscles in the front of the shin are tightening and then the calves are tightening. Toes up, toes down. Not terribly interested in any long hold in this, but instead an active pumping process. Especially if you've got swelling in the feet as well as the legs and ankles. You might include curling the toes on your way down, extending the toes on your way up, curling the toes on the way down, extending on the way up. Probably not a bad idea in either case. So we do 8 to 10 ankle pumps. We follow that with some thigh squeezes. We get these big thigh muscles, the quadriceps, to tighten a bit and relax. Squeeze and relax. At this point, we're not concerned with the feet and ankle moving much in terms of the ankle pump. We've moved on upstream. Some squeezing and relaxing, squeezing and relaxing. And we do a handful. 8 to 10 is just a number, really. All the while, we don't want to forget that we want this diaphragm moving down and up with our breath. To act as that plunger that will draw fluid up. Then we want to move to the glutes, which you can't see here at all, but you're just going to squeeze your tush. Squeeze your cheeks together and relax them. Squeeze your cheeks together and relax. Squeeze the cheeks and relax. Squeeze. Then a little bit more active again, we'll roll the hips, opening the toes and legs with an inhale, and exhale, closing the toes. Inhale, opening. Now we're rotating the hips, exhale, closing. Inhale, opening, exhale, closing. And again, at those inguinal ligaments, the inguinal lymph nodes are potentially being influenced by this little hip roll. And again, we're also engaging not just the diaphragm, but the muscles of the pelvic floor as well. So as you exhale, that pelvic floor may activate a little bit, especially with that internal rotation from the hips. So we've done some ankle pumps, some thigh squeezes, some glute sets, some hip rolls, breathing all the while. This will be a little more challenging to see, but we also want to roll the pelvis and lumbar spine back and forward again, coordinated with our breath. So we'll tip the pelvis forward, arching the back slightly, the belly sticks out on my inhalation. Exhaling, I'll draw my belly in, rolling the pelvis backwards, pressing my back into the chair, recliner, bed, whatever your surface might be. Inhaling, we'll arch forward. Exhaling, inhaling, arch. Exhaling, flatten. Inhaling, arch. Exhaling, flatten. And again, 8 to 10 repetitions. Inhaling, arch. Exhaling, flatten. Inhaling, arch. Exhaling, flatten. Oftentimes, after we've done ankles, thighs, glutes, hip rolls, pelvic tilts, we might come back and follow up with a few more gentle circles. If we've had any luck at bringing fluid from the legs up to the abdomen, well, we don't want to keep it there. We want to keep encouraging it to head north, upstream here. So we can do a few more belly circles. We could come back and flush those inguinal lymph nodes again with a bit of pressure. In addition to active edema management, we also want to encourage increasing your water fluid intake. We need fluid to move fluid, and we got to get up and move. You've got to get up and be walking, because it's in that reciprocal pattern of walking that a lot of these motions are taking place. Of course, the drawback is our feet are down, gravity's working against us when we walk. But when we're walking well and the body's working as it should, generally we ought to be able to, the benefit of the walk outweighs the drawback of being in a dependent position. I hope that's helpful.